In this video I'm going to run through a small plugin we wrote for a specific customer who wanted to track how long it takes for a supplier to actually deliver stock into their premises. And also sometimes they needed to return items, so they want to log the reason and a detailed description together with how long it took before they actually needed to return the goods. So there's certain things we need to bear in mind. Basically it's working within the confines of the hook points within Exchequer. So we must not use the receive button and the auto receive, else the system will not actually log the delivered days to the log. Instead we have a pick all button here, which is probably easier to use than the receive and auto pick, because when we click on it, it shows us what's on a POR, and we just simply tick those lines to receive those goods in completely. But before I start and go through all those, I'm just going to go up here and we're going to actually clear down the log that it's generated previously from testing. So if I click on open delivery days, you can see there I have a log of all my delivery days. I'm just going to go into edit, select all, and I'll press the delete key, clear that log down and save it. So that's cleared the delivery days. And this log here, the returns log, is actually a log of returns through the system. So select all and delete that down, and we save that. So that's cleared those two. Now when I return an item, the system prompts me for a reason why it's been returned. Also in this options menu here, I can edit those reasons, which just opens a simple text file where we list on each line the reasons why an item might actually be returned. And as you'll see later, it will prompt for a comment for the specific reason why they've been returned. Okay, so let's see the software in action. Okay, so we've got a purchase order here, 2 items outstanding, and as we saw before, we had a pick all button here. So if I click on the pick all button, I can simply say all 25 items have just been delivered into my premises. So OK that. Let's now pick those items and put that on my delivery log. Okay, if we want to part deliver something, if I simply go into there and I go into the quantity picked, okay, we've got 20 items on order, so I'm going to pick 5 and OK that and process that down. And now what's happened when I press the OK on that line is it's actually written that again to the delivery log. So now we can process them purchase orders through to deliveries. Of course, if you delivered it and you wanted to bring it back, then you can do using normal Exchequer functionality. So now if I press the pick all button again, remember I had access to the logs from within here, click on there, you can see now we've just delivered 2 items in. One was fully delivered at 25 and one was 5 delivered. Now you can see there that the titles maybe do not match up and etc. But if I simply copy all that information, select it first and copy it and switch over to Excel, I'll just close that down and paste that into Excel, you'll see there all the column titles line up with the data. So you could produce a fancy report and do some bit of manipulation in Excel. Indeed, you could highlight certain cells and write extra comments on there. So here's basically the quantity delivered and how many days late it was. You can see here this is ridiculously late, but etc. Oh, this user also has a line number plugin, so there was actually line numbers written to user field 4 which appear in the report as well. Okay, so that's the delivery log. Let's just look at the returns log and how that works. Okay, I've got a few items in here waiting to come in. So let's actually write 5 of those off because we're going to return, let's say 20 were delivered and 5 were written off. For OK that, there we can see the reasons that we set up originally in that text file. So I can select faulty and I can write in here a description, detailed description of why they were returned, and OK that. And now that's logged that to the returns file, so now that would process through the system and would credit off basically the invoice and all that sort of business using standard Exchequer functionality. So if I go back into the pick all and look at the returns log, we now have a return of 5 items, and again if I go edit select all, edit copy, and then I'll flick back over to Excel and I paste that in there. We can now see there was 5 returned, how long it, the reason, how many days late the items were delivered. There's the description, the reason was faulty, and the comments written to this cell here. So again, you can do some manipulation within Excel and highlight the cells and produce some kind of management reports. So that in a nutshell is how the software works. And obviously these log files just grow and grow and grow, so it's down to the user. If they want to clear them down, it writes the title to the top and basically it grows. So the most recent entry is always at the bottom. I probably recommend just allowing them to grow and archiving them off to Excel periodically.